Howdy, everyone. Tad Stevens on the Micro Success Secrets podcast, where we focus on business psychology and marketing and how you can use that in your business daily and long term. Today, I'm talking with Prash Kotecha, who is an international conscious leadership and well-being consultant, speaker, and CEO of Stress to Success. Prash, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit more about yourself, if you would.
Thank you, Tad. Thank you for the kind introduction. And it's a pleasure to be with you on this micro successful journey. I love the fact that you're honing in on people's success stories, and every success story has a challenge behind it. And I guess I'm no stranger to those challenges. I'm of Indian origin, but I've lived in London, England since the past 45 years. I was pretty much born and raised, you can say, in London since the early 70s. And that had a really difficult childhood, kind of growing up in the 70s in the UK, facing racism, bullying, all kinds of different challenges. We were in poverty because we had to leave all our valuables and belongings behind in East Africa when we came here. And it was a difficult time, and raising myself up and then losing my parents at a young age and growing up meant that I just felt in 20, 25 years, I faced death, multiple deaths, poverty, bullying, a certain amount of physical abuse and violence, and I got into a certain amount of substance abuse as well. And this all shaped 20, 25 years of my life. And it was only in my early 20s that I started to take stock of where my life was headed, pull myself out of some of the gangs and other stuff that I was doing, and make a difference in my life. And that started by getting a couple of jobs at university to support my family, pull my family out of debt. And I realized that actually the best person who can help you is you. And that the best investment you can make in yourself, the best investment you can make in your life is in you. Because when you invest in yourself, your education, your studies, your work, your business, your relationships, everything starts to improve when you invest in yourself. And that was the big missing piece for me, Tad. So I spent the past two and a half decades exploring success, personal growth, emotional intelligence, spirituality, and leadership. And these have really shaped the past 25 years of my life as I hit 50 now, in the direction that I've taken it through 2.5 decades of corporate life with some big name brands, JP Morgan, HSBC, other brands, smaller businesses, just working through the corporate jungle and then shifting into this full-time coaching, training, and consulting stuff that I now do to help other people also optimize their potential.
Okay, well, and that is a great lead into my first question, because let me just get to the question. It'll make sense. So thank you for that. And the things that you've been through, if you could go back in a time machine, if there was such a thing, and you could change something in your life, would you change that business, that personal decision? It can be more than one if you've got more than one, but would you change it? And if you could change it, what would you change it to?
I love that question. I got two parts to that. For the longest time, I lost my mom when I was 13 and she was only 42. For the longest time, I wished that I could have my mom back. And I wish I could change that. I wish I could have
Sure.
that
Yeah.
back. She was the most loving mother and very dutiful. But I realized something. I had to lose somebody that I love in order to help to force me to dig deep within myself and ask the hard questions about life. Why do people suffer? Why do good people die early? Why is pain? Why does suffering exist? And had that not happened, I wouldn't be in this position today. So I got to say that that's one area where I feel, you know what, I'm at peace with the way things shaped out. Now, on the other side of that, the one thing I do feel that I could have started earlier was this journey of personal growth. I spent far too long doing stuff that I probably regret. And if I was giving advice to my, to my 20-year-old.
No, I laugh because I've been there. I
right,
feel akin to you there.
I've been giving my advice like, dude, really, you don't have to spend that long impressing all the ladies and drinking yourself silly at the student union's bar at university. You could do that. You could do better with your life. But it's okay. We live and learn. Better late than never.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and that leads to my second question is, if you could go back and you could recognize, or know of some point or some decision that you've made, business or personal, like before, that turned out super positive, that you knew that, that was a change, and you look back and you think of everything before that and everything after that? It's one of those dividing line kind of things. Do you have one of those you could share?
I do actually. It was during a midpoint. It was during my corporate career, and
Mhm.
in my corporate career, as I said, I started in corporate in 1993 after I graduated. I spent a fair amount of time in technology, in IT, um, technology support, infrastructure, and a lot of hands-on stuff. And it dawned on me early on in those days, in my 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, that I do have some degree of people skills, and I enjoy working with people more than I do
Mhm.
fixing stuff. And during that time, I was inspired to look at a different career, and I started looking at, reorientating myself from a techie guy, to a project manager. And I thought project management will allow me to use my people skills, deal with
Right. Yeah.
stakeholders. And so I just basically took the plunge. And in those days in the UK, we didn't have a whole ton of available project management courses. They were super pricey. So I took the jump and self-studied, done a whole bunch of training, and got my Prince 2 qualifications, which is like PMP in the US.
Right.
And I self-studied, and I went and blagged myself my first job. I had to, spin a little bit, but hey, which US president doesn't put some spin on their
Which
stuff, right?
anybody, I mean, yeah, I mean, you get into that situation. Yeah, absolutely.
So I just used some tenacity, a little bit of sweet talking, and I got myself into project management, and I kind of did good. So I never looked back for the remainder of my corporate career. I moved into project management, that led to business transformation, leadership, team management. It all sprung from that decision to change that direction.
Okay. Well, super. Um, and this is a little bit of a different twist, but it it's kind of related. Is What is one struggle that you think that was, I mean, super scary to deal with, and are you still dealing with it? Is it something that is like in, it could be an event that happened, or it could be something that is just out there, like you've been
Yeah,
talking about, like some of the prejudice, some of the situations that exist day to day and are still around and are probably going to be around for a while. Do you have one of those?
I do, and I can summarize it in two words:
Okay.
achievement addiction. Achievement addiction.
Did not expect that, but please elaborate.
The longest time, coming from an Indian family, we're all pushed hard to go really high on education, go really high
Right.
on up the career ladder, show everybody else, all the other, family members that we've done real well. And I bought into that programming.
Yeah.
As well intended as it was, the elders want us to do well and stand on our own feet. The
Right.
intentions were great, but I bought into it too hard. I was so busy trying to compare myself and compete financially, materially, with people around me, especially when I was working in banking, finance, people who were flashing their cash, that I became addicted to achieving the stuff, like the
Yep.
promotion, the role, the job title, going from a VP to an SVP, AVP to a VP, director to managing director, whatever it was. I was chasing these titles and the pay rises and everything that went with it. And
Right.
it all landed on my face because I suffered two major health crises during in my 20s and then in my 30s. And they were big wake up calls to help me to realize that actually chasing these big goals might just cost me my health emotionally and physically and
All
mentally.
right. Yeah.
And they really ground me. They shifted the way I looked at life, and I started to change. And that actually triggered me into my profession, right? As a well-being and leadership expert, emotional intelligence expert, and coach. And I train people in companies about this now, that don't chase wealth, chase contentment. Don't
Hmm.
chase money, chase a feeling of joy, right? Because when you make that distinction and you separate success from what everybody else defines it to what you perceive success to be, and when you align success with purpose rather than success with material achievements, you start to get a certain level of contentedness that no amount of money could have ever gotten you. Now, that's not a cop out. That's just the
Hmm.
reality, because we know a lot. You and I know tons of people who are millionaires and they're not happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I
So,
think that was a big realization for me, and a
so,
lot of my clients now.
okay. So kind of related to that is when you come to those situations, because that can be, that kind of addiction, you don't always see it. It's not always in front of you. And so it's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like a bottle or a pill or, another type, but how do you move through that? How do you see those and make those decisions that take you from where you are to where you can go? How do you get unstuck? Do you have a couple of tips that you might share there?
That's a great question. Let me offer you and the audiences three insights that would help.
Okay.
Number one, getting clear on your purpose, your why. Now, Simon Sinek talks about it. So many people talk about this idea of knowing your why. And it's taken for granted. It's almost like passe, right? Yeah, every leader talks about knowing your why, but actually,
Right.
it's really
Yeah. Yeah.
simple. And you don't have to wait till your mid 40s, midlife crisis, right? 40-year itch, whatever it is. You don't have to wait there to get it. You can go back if you're in your 20s or your 30s, you can still be doing this. So, tip number one is go back and revisit or visit, if you haven't visited it before, revisit your purpose. Ascertain what your why is. Why are you doing what you're doing? And if you think the answer is, well, because I need the money to survive, ask a harder question. Ask a better question. Why do you need the money to survive? Who are you doing it for? Get clear on your why and your who. Why you're doing what you're doing, or why it is you need to achieve a certain thing or get to a certain goal,
Yeah.
and who you're doing it for. Now, it could be you. But oftentimes you may discover that you're not doing it for you really. When you ask that question recursively, you realize that actually you're doing it for somebody else. It's not even close to you. You're doing it to please your old man. You're doing it to please your missus. You're doing it
Right.
to
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
When you get clear on that, then you can ascertain. And then what you do is you course correct your purpose. That's tip number one. The second thing is getting self-aware. That means increasing your self-awareness. We talk about it in emotional intelligence. We talk about it in spirituality. It's about becoming self-aware. Self-aware about what? About knowing what intentions and desires are cropping up and what negative thoughts are occupying the jungle of the mind 12 to 16 hours a day that you're awake, 7 days a week. The more you become self-aware, and the tip to do that is keep a diary or a thing on your phone and just keep a note of the top 5 prevailing thoughts or repeat thought patterns that come out every day. Disempowering, empowering, whatever they are, without judgment. Make a note of them. Start to take an audit like you do a stock take. If you had a shop, you do a stock take of your materials at the back, right? Before you put your new order in. Do a stock take of your thoughts or emotions on a regular basis. That'll help you to become more self-aware. The more self-aware you become, the more you're going to be able to break the pattern of negative thoughts, and you're also going to be able to cut those desires or intentions that are actually not serving you. You'll make the distinction. So that's tip number 2. And lastly, tip number 3 is go get an accountability partner. Find somebody in your life who you can open up to, and you can say, hey, listen, I've been like I said it to my brother. I said, listen, I've been a complete putz, been a right idiot. I've been leading you up the garden wall. I've been doing this. I know I'm the eldest and I'm this and I'm that, but you know what? I screwed up. And I want to do this, this, and this. I'm declaring it to you because I want to hold myself accountable. Will you be my accountability partner? My brother said, yeah, sure. And the beauty is when you hold yourself accountable to somebody, invariably they benefit too because they get motivated. So find somebody around you, a partner or a support group, your family or your friends, and share your aspirations and your obstacles with them. Those are my 3 tips.
Super. I'm going to make sure those are in the show notes. I have a link directly to that because that's awesome. So going to close here just a little bit. Lastly, if you could surmise, and for me, for a lot of people, it's hard to do, so no worries if not, but if you could surmise, what do you want out of your business? What do you want out of your life? Succinctly, how would you say that?
Oh, I've put some soul searching into that.
No, it's not. It's a big question, and I'm asking you to do small results. So yeah, it's hard to do. I get it.
Yeah, I've been doing that for some time. I mean, I'm a spiritual mentor as well as an emotional intelligence coach. So I gotta practice what I preach. So I've been doing that again, especially over the past 3-4 years. And this is what I come up with. I can summarize the answer to that question in 4 E's.
Okay.
These are the 4 E's that make me wake up in the morning. These are the 4 E's that make me drive and do my work. These are the 4 E's that motivate me to want to actually conduct and do a business. And these are the 4 E's that will probably stay with me till the end of my days. And they are as follows: to educate, to empower, to enlighten, and to entertain. these 4 E's are what it is for me that I feel is my life's mission. Through my work, through the coaching and the training that I offer organizations and individuals, to the fantastic voluntary work that I do with so many different organizations, running free webinars on well-being, mindset, spirituality, personal growth, purpose. Everything I do is me walking my life's path, learning from the experiences of my clients and people around me, honing my craft, and then educating people so that they become empowered, so they become more enlightened, and throwing in a bit of entertainment, which is the other side of it that people don't necessarily
Yeah,
know, that I sing and I play and I do music and I do meditation and comedy impersonations. I like to kind of throw that in with the whole piece. That's my existence right there, man.
that is awesome, and I love the entertainment part because, and I was just reading an article, and this has to do with marketing psychology involved in mass marketing,
Okay.
but that you can be a lot of things online, but one thing you never ever want to be is boring.
Hmm.
And they put that out front, and it's, I thought, well, you got all these other technical things that you must achieve as well to, to get your campaign to work. But then I thought, yeah, if you're boring, the rest of it really isn't going to matter. And it's kind of that way, or the way I'm taking what you just said in my life is that it's a lot better if you're having fun. Just overall, I just everything involved. Prash, really, really appreciate that. Gonna have to wrap up now. But wanted to see if there's anything that you wanted to close with, anything that you have that you could offer the listeners and viewers that might help or assist them.
Of course, and it will be my pleasure to. Thank you, Tad. I appreciate the kind words and your own thoughts on the subject. There are 3 things I'd like to leave all of you with, and they're my gift to you. Number one, I have a podcast, which some of you know if you've seen it, and it is my pride and joy through which these 4 E's are brought to life. It's called Urban Spirituality. It's for anyone who's any kind of faith, no faith background. I want to demystify, I'm on a mission to demystify this word spirituality and pull out the taboos and make it accessible, practical, and beneficial to everybody out there. And it's become a hugely popular show. I've had some great guests on the show. We're going to be up to our 100 episodes real soon. So check out Urban Spirituality on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, all your favorite platforms. Go check it out. And if you're searching on that Google, Urban Spirituality and my name, Prash, you'll find the podcast. Check it out, subscribe, and enjoy. Second thing, I'd love to offer all of you, especially because one of the top 3 things that I end up helping people with is their productivity, time management, and work-life balance. So I've put together a signature course for people who often procrastinate or who can't get stuff done and they struggle. I made it super practical, super easy and quick. It's called From Procrastination to Productivity. It's my signature productivity course. I'd love to offer it to all of you at a super special discount with the discount code with Early Bird 50.
Early Bird 50. Okay.
Early Bird 50. Use that code. I'll have the links with you, obviously, Tad, where to go. And you'll be able to go there, check out the course, grab it at 50% off. And for less than the price of 2 weeks worth of coffees, you will have the best productivity tactics that you can put into practice within 24 hours, and you'll start winning. And that,
Super.
just saving that kind of time, let's just be real honest, saving that kind of time can save the equivalent of $20,000 to $30,000 a year, increased by 20% a week over 40 weeks, 42 weeks. That's the result. Fiscally, $20,000 to $30,000 easily saved. If you're on a bigger hourly rate, you can double or triple that. That's how powerful it is. So go grab that for the price of 2 weeks worth of coffees. And last but not least, for those of you who want, you know what, if you feel you want to make a breakthrough, if you feel that my crazy talking has in any way resonated, or you feel that what I have may help you personally, friendly, non-judgmental way, I'm happy to offer a limited number of people a free strategy and discovery call. We'll hop on the call together and we will discuss what I can do to help you, me and my team, to support you or your team together in your journey, either personal or business. So drop me a line. We'll make sure the link's with you, Tad. You can reach out for that discovery call.
Okay, super. And I will definitely make sure all those links and information is in there. in the show notes and in the description, wherever we happen to post the podcast. Prash, really thank you. Really appreciate your time. Awesome interview. One of the best I've done. Seriously.
Brilliant.
Got to wrap up now. Want to thank you again, everybody, for listening and viewing. Any questions, let us know at service@microsuccessful.com. Until next time, this is Tad Stevens with Micro Success Secrets. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Take care.